This involves construction of a new concrete weir across the full length of the existing weir crest. The new weir will be just over 1 metre high. Toddbrook Reservoir embankment has a central puddle clay core. This acts as the watertight element for the embankment, which prevents leakage through the dam. The first part of the new work will be to construct a trench into this existing core. This will be filled with concrete, which will act as a watertight barrier to tie the new concrete weir into the existing clay below. This will prevent any leakage getting underneath the new weir structure.
Today, we're at Toddbrook above the auxiliary spillway. We're just putting the finishing touches to the temporary works project. And the final part of the project will include additional protective measures down the face of the spillway. These will include the installation of pressure relief wells and joint repairs.
I'm stood here at the inlet to Toddbrook Reservoir at the head of the reservoir. This is where flows can be diverted either into the reservoir itself or into the bywash channel. During the emergency response for Toddbrook Reservoir, we installed these gabion baskets wrapped in visqueen that I'm stood on now. These are mesh baskets filled with sandbags, and this provides a temporary weir to divert flows away from the reservoir and into the bywash channel so that we can maximise the flow which bypasses the reservoir.
We're currently undertaking some repairs on the cascade into the reservoir, and in spring 2021 we'll be starting the main repairs on the inlet. The major repair project includes the installation of a new control structure at the inlet into the bypass. This allows us to have greater control of the water flows into the reservoir as well as down the bypass into the River Goyt. As part of the project, we're installing a public footbridge across the gabion baskets to allow greater access in this area. We would like to include the local community and schools in an art project to be involved within the footbridge.
The bywash channel you can see behind me is an important part of the operating philosophy for the reservoir. This allows us to divert flows from the upstream Toddbrook watercourse past the reservoir and discharge them downstream, keeping as much flow out of the reservoir as possible. You can see today that the flows from Toddbrook are bypassing the reservoir and flowing nicely down the bywash channel. We've done detailed surveying of this bywash channel to tell us where the low spots are, and we now have flow gauges in place, such as the one you can see next to me. This enables us to measure the flows and the heights of water in the channel and ensure that we've got the maximum flow coming down the channel without the risk of overtopping the channel and causing any damage to the bank. As well as a flow gauge in the bywash channel, we also have a flow gauge in the reservoir, and that enables us to monitor any change in level in the reservoir. We've got pumps set up, which you can see on the pontoon behind me, as well as the natural draw-offs of the reservoir. And all of this allows us to continue to manage the reservoir at this drawn down level. We're regularly measuring any settlement of the embankment, and we're receiving detailed weather forecasts which enabled us to predict what flows might be coming to the reservoir.
Here I've been on site since day one, working 24/7 to assist and help mobilise pumps, power supply, fuel, assisting stabilisation of the water levels. It's been a challenging time due to the very wet weather. We've had the wettest February on record, and also we've had to contend with the COVID coronavirus.
These temporary works on site will be completed in August. In some good news for local residents, we will then be able to open up part of the site and the footpaths to be able to walk along the reservoir until the main repairs start on site in spring 2021. In the next stage, we will be considering a wide range of repair options for the reservoir. This will then be narrowed down to a short list, and we will undertake public consultation to come up with the final design.